and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today we are talking about a fanfiction called Marrying the God of Craftsmanship. Details about this fanfiction will be in the description below. In this fanfiction, we follow our main girl, Ash, who is reborn as a forest nymph in this world of Greek mythology. And obviously because she's reborn from the 21st century, she's really weird to others. She's like the most weird creature they've ever seen because of how she talks, how she holds herself. I mean, Ash is still respectful to some of the gods, or well, all of them, especially in public with others around, because she's not crazy, right? She doesn't want to die, but she gains the favor because they do really like her. They do end up becoming really good friends of Artemis and Hera. So they would often visit her, right? They would often visit her because, Ash, again, isn't crazy. So she's not going to be her normal self when others are around. When she's on Mount Olympus, she's not crazy enough to do that. She's more censored there. But because of this, Hera definitely loves her, right? Seeing her as her only friend, really. And because she's like, oh my god, I love you so much. Oh, you're so, she doesn't even try and compliment her as in I'm not a roundabout way, but in a complicated, oh, you're as beautiful as the whatever. She's like, you're hot. She does. And so her weird mannerism and way of speaking, they really do like her. And Ash, through this, has been because Hera's not the greatest goddess, but she does kind of pity her because it's your husband sucks. Zeus sucks. So she's like, how about we? So she's been slowly trying to influence Hera to be let's, focus less on the victims, right? And let's focus more on your husband. He's the scum here. He sucks, right? So she's just focused, slowly kind of planting the idea of your husband really sucks. Let's forget about the others. It's your husband who made this decision, right? But everything starts when Ash was invited to the banquet on Mount Olympus. So she's invited there, and everything seems to going, somewhat okay. And then Ash isn't really thinking about it. I mean, I wouldn't either. Why would I even care, right? But kind of an argument ensues, shocking, between Hera and Zeus. Oh my god, shocking. She's like, slap him, do it. It's and then she gets shocked because someone behind her said, it's oh, if he heard you saying that, you would definitely be smited. And it's Hephaestus. It's oh my god, what are you doing here? And, Hera obviously wanting nothing, to cast him out for a reason. And it is interesting from her point of view why she did it, but we'll go into that later, right? But he's there to give her a gift. And this is where Ash is starting, she's like, that sounds vaguely familiar. And then she realizes oh right, this is the golden throne where Hera gets trapped. And then he goes after Aphrodite. So she remembers the entire thing, right? It's oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. Except nothing really goes to plan because, yes, Hera does get stuck on the golden throne, but then she gets kidnapped, and Ash is just there, which is where our story kind of picks up. And because he kidnapped her, and so she's just there. She's like, well, what now? It's she's not scared, so it's because he's not gonna hurt her, so it's so what now? And this is where Hephaestus truly gets used to Ash again, a weirdo, because she's I can't admire, because he's looking at her, it's you're a pervert. It's you're a pervert, because she's I can't admire your titties, I can't. He's just looking at her too, and he covers himself, it's you're a pervert. Oh my god. I brought a perfect home. It's like, and he like leaves. She's like, where are you going? Come back. But throughout the entire, like, she can wander around. I mean, she can't go outside, but she basically wanders around the house and can do whatever. Like, so sometimes she likes to walk from work, and she even got him to make, because he said it's like, if you're bored, go play with your toy that I made, like that I made you, right? 'Cause she got him to make a Rubik's cube, because again, I don't know what any of this is, and so she's like, no, I just want to watch you. I just want to watch you work. But this entire time, he obviously, because he's not, he's deformed, so he's sees, and also because everyone else kind of says it too. Definitely, is like he puts himself down a lot, and the way Ash looks at him, it's not even just like the way, like, you know, in my eyes, you're great. It's just like, even like in description, the way that it describes him is that he's like average. So like, is he like godly beauty standards? No. Compared to them, he's like an average guy. But like, he's still hot. So then it's just like, so Ash is like, I'm not seeing it. It's like, because compared to the rest of the gods, is he like this pinnacle of like beauty and like just handsomeness? No. But, to an average person, like a human, absolutely. He's hot. I mean, like, so it's like the standard of being just like incredibly high. After being there for a while, this is where Hephaestus gets ready to go to Cythera. And obviously she catches on to this. She wants to go too. And he refuses at first until she mentions, like, fine then, I'll just stay here. And then I'll just steal your underwear. Which is a constant theme throughout this, where she says something and he gets really embarrassed and blushes. Because he can't really handle the fact that someone's actually saying this to him. No one's ever said any of this to him. Or they're just like, yeah, you're really hot. I would absolutely. It's like, no one's ever said this to him, so he can't handle it. But I mean, at this point, he's still thinking of her as a hostage too, even though she's like not really much of a hostage. She's more like a, because he's like, oh, what kind of hostage are you? This isn't a vacation, To be real, it is. But so she ends up convincing him. It's like, I promise I'll behave. So she ends up convincing him uh to let them go. And also, she's remembering all of this and how everything kind of happened with Aphrodite and everything kind of ended. And it's like, ooh, that was kind of sad. So she's, I don't know if that would be like convincing him, but she does say to him, and then she doesn't really press it anymore, like on the way there, that you should really marry someone that you really care and love, and not just because, like, oh, it's in the plan, his grand plan to get respect from the other gods and everything. It's like, yeah, but you're not really gonna be happy because it didn't really make him happy. So she doesn't really press on it anymore, but she does just say that to kind of be like, to give him something to think on, of like, you should do it because it's something you want, and that's the person that you want to spend your life with. This is also like the point where Ash says that she likes him, not in like a romantic way, just like, no, I like you, right? Because she's like, you're perfect in my eyes, like how basically like how hot you are. It's like, I like you. And obviously he doesn't really believe her or anything, because it's like, he's the ugly god, and it's like, I mean, he thinks like the whole reason like no other nymph ever really comes near him, right? And he's like, you're the only nymph who ever would, but to be honest, you're a pervert, so like, but this is also where he's just like, I should probably make something to fix your eyesight, which means classes. But, and she's like insulted, like kind of genuinely insulted, because it's like, I do actually genuinely like you. It's like, so you can't really insult my taste for it. So, and this does, like, through all the teasing, like, she is very, like, kind of like serious about this too. Like, she does, but she also gets flustered too, because how he responds is to kind of clam up. Obviously, no one's ever really done this to him before. And to her, that's cute. Like, it's adorable. So she, to an extent, doesn't also not respond to that either. Meanwhile, back on like Mount Olympus, where Ares comes in, he's like, "Who did this to you, mother? Like, who?" It's like, it's your brother. Like, so he's ready to go, right? He's ready to bring him back so he could fix this, get her out of there. And Zeus is like, so all three of them are arguing about this, right? 'Cause it's like, why didn't you protect mother? It's like, why weren't you here? It's like a lot. And like, he also blames Hera. It's like, well, if you didn't throw him away, like, this wouldn't have happened. And this is where we get like the reason why Hera threw him away. It wasn't because of what, everyone assumed. It's like, well, he's so ugly, Hera threw him away. No, the reason she threw him away was because of his eyes. They were Zeus's eyes, right? His color. And they reminded her so much of him. Hated it, right? Because Ares doesn't have Zeus's eyes, but Hephaestus did. So it was very unfortunate, but that's the reason that she threw him away. It had nothing to do with like, oh, he's ugly. This is where Dionysus gets involved, right? Because obviously he gets him involved, and he's gonna go persuade Hephaestus. Doesn't really work out, but this is how we get Zeus and his feelings on everything. So the entire time Hera hasn't like really said anything at this point. Like, she stayed quiet for now as Ares and Zeus kind of argue. It's like back and forth, and it's Zeus kind of looking at Ares like, it's like, unlike you. Like, he almost looks at him like is abomination the right word? I don't know, because it's like, he's like, you're useless. Like, Jesus, Zeus. But that's how he looks at him. And so this is where Hera is like, she's like determined, like she has like some hope. And this is where she looks at Zeus, like she's promising, like, if he brings back Ash, like my Ash, because she's like my little nymph, like if he brings back my Ash, I'll give him whatever he wants, like whatever he wants. And this is where Zeus is like, he knows like of Ash, obviously, the nymph favored by his wife. And this is where he's like clearly like jealous, but it's like, sir, like jealousy and obsession comes out. It's like, sir, didn't you have like 50 other lovers or something? Are you okay? Want your cake and eat it too? Jesus. It's like, he clearly like, and it becomes clear later on too, like he really does not like Ash at all. But Dionysus ends up going down. He ends up asking some of the sea nymphs right nearby, like where he could find Hephaestus. And obviously, because of Hera's like decree of like, I will grant you whatever it is if you bring her back, he's definitely interested. Like, what type of person is she? But he ends up asking the sea nymphs, and this is where the rumor starts, right? Because they don't know, and they're not going to approach Hephaestus either, because even Hephaestus said they don't come near him. They don't want to. They run away as soon as they really see him. So they've just been looking from afar, and they just assumed that Ash was his wife. And so this kind of started where he's like, oh, Dionysus is like, oh, this is gonna get interesting. Because he's like, how would Hera think, Because clearly she cares for this nymph, wants her back. Might be a bit late. She's married to Hephaestus now. Back with Hephaestus and Ash, they finally arrive, and they're there. Hephaestus states that, oh, it'll be like a week, right, before Aphrodite finally comes out. Cool, except didn't go that way. They were there, and this is where it sinks in finally to Hephaestus that she really, like, Ash really does mean it, that she really does like him, because again, no one's ever said any of these things to him or acted this way to him. So he doesn't know what to do with himself, but also he just can't really believe it. So it finally does sink into him. He's like, oh, she means it. Like, she really does like me. But as it turns to night, Ash starts singing like a lullaby, right? Just from like one that she remembered from a movie, um, past life. And then morning comes and she wakes up to that same lullaby being sung. Obviously, no one else is supposed to know that. So she's like, oh. And so she ends up walking towards the voice, and it's like a little girl, right? Some blonde little girl kind of singing songs. She's like, who are you and how do you even know that, right? And this is where, she's like all haughty and kind of like full of herself. She's like, wouldn't you recognize me? Like you were just singing it to me last night, mother. It's like, who's your mom? I don't think, what are we talking about? And so it's like, what's your name? It's like, Aphrodite. Hoi, boy. So it turns out Aphrodite came out a little earlier. She's now a child. Panic. What do we do? She's talking, like, they're talking to Hephaestus. This is the point Aphrodite's like falling around like a duckling. She's staying close by her. And they're talking about like what to do. It's like, what is happening? What are we supposed to do? It's like, I don't know. She wasn't supposed to come out this way. It's like, but she hasn't quite grown into like her full power or anything. So she'll probably continue to grow like how she was supposed to in the clan. And then when she finally reaches like being an adult, that's when she'll finally like be fully in her god powers. So it's like, great. Just gotta wait like a couple of days then. Okay. Completely fine. And then she's thinking about it, like how this child's clearly clinging to her and thinking like, oh, you're my mom. She's like, this might backfire when she finally like kind of, realizes who she is and comes into her powers. Like, she might curse me. Ooh, let's so she's like, let's just not do that. And it's just not. And then we cut back to on Olympus with Hera and Zeus. Zeus obviously is like, because the whole thing with Aphrodite and Cythera, you know, they don't really know, but don't know what's going on. But this is where he goes to leave, and Hera's like you're gonna leave me here? It's like, again, and he just kind of yells at her. It's like, causing trouble again. Like, he's over it with her, right? And this is at this point where she doesn't quite snap at this point, but it's like she's coming to terms with it. Because again, Ash was like subtly kind of steering direction. It's like, your husband's trash. He's trash. Your husband's trash, right? So she's just been subtly whispering that in her ears. So this is it's kind of like where she's finally coming to terms with it. Where she's like, have you ever thought of me as your queen? And at least not that, like, have you thought of me as your wife? It's like, and it just kind of finally, I think at this point, kind of like finally sinks into her. She's like, you know what? Leave. It's like, maybe it'll do me some good. Like, if I don't see you for a while, just leave, right? And she, like, releases her power to the point where it could be felt, like, even through Ash, right? Ash is even there, but she kind of see, like, the golden aura. She's like, oh, something isn't quite right. Because of the energy that Hera released, because it could be felt even in the mortal realm, Artemis goes to visit her, right, to ask if she's okay. And they end up talking it out. And they end up talking about Ash and Hephaestus. And obviously, this is where, again, Hera doesn't care about Hephaestus at all, right? She doesn't care. She wants Ash back. And this is where it's like, the prophecy, it's like, this is where Hera's getting worried, because it's like, well, the prophecy is like, Thanatos will come for her, and Hephaestus might, challenge the underworld. So we're not off to a great start, right? And what she doesn't say to Hera is that the reason being is obviously Ash wasn't supposed to exist in their world, which we know, obviously, because duh, she was reborn, right? But no one else really knows that. And the reason being is like she has no record basically of like, okay, this person like was born this day and they died this day, right? She doesn't have any like type of record of like she was born here, whatever. Even though she actually was like, you know, she's kind of reborn, but she doesn't have the record, which would be the reason why they come after her in the first place. But of course, really revealed to her anyway. Ash, Hephaestus, Aphrodite finally end up meeting Dionysus, right? Because he's just chilling out there in their home. So, well, Hephaestus' home, but he's just there. He's just waiting for them, right? He didn't even move. And this entire, like, you know, she's, which she's protective of Aphrodite because, like, she's now a child. So let's kind of, like, chill out with this, right? Because Dionysus was one of Aphrodite's lovers. But now it's just like, she's a child right now. So, and, this is where the rumor further gets out of control, right? Because of CNIPS, it was already like, oh, they're married, right? Because like the time is different. Would have been like 2 days or like a couple hours. It was a couple hours. Yeah, it would have been a couple hours like on Olympus was like a couple of days or like weeks, almost a month. In like the mortal realm, so it's like awkward. So, uh, this further gets out of control because Dionysus looks at that and like, oh, so not only are you married, you have a child now. No, but whatever. And this is, you know, at this point, because Ash recognizes this is the point where Dionysus is supposed to get Hephaestus drunk, and then because he's drunk, he convinces him, you know, to come back to Olympus to free Hera. Obviously, that's not really gonna work out this time because I mean, who's gonna stay with Ash? Like, who's like, you know, he's got people, you know, Ash and Aphrodite to protect. So, no way it's happening. So he ends up leaving, for now, but he does end up mentioning Hera to Ash, because Ash doesn't know how Hera's doing. I mean, she saw the like rage-filled aura, so she's like, she is worried about her, but it's just like, oh, this isn't gonna be great. But after that, they move houses because no longer safe there and make plans. And while that's happening, while Hephaestus is like getting the house right and everything, that leaves Aphrodite and her to spend more time together. And through this, kind of like how Ash did with Hera, slowly influences Aphrodite. Doesn't even really mean to all that much, but it is just like, might as well. But teach it because she's the goddess of like, you know, love, beauty. But teaching her kind of like, just because someone is very beautiful on the outside, still could be very ugly on the inside. And so through this, Aphrodite wants to stick near, you know, Ash and Hephaestus. She doesn't care. Like, she wants to stick near them because, like, to her, it's like, why would it matter that a bunch of people will like me? They'll only like me because of how beautiful I am. That's the only reason that they'll love me. But, you know, obviously her and Hephaestus being different, it's like, so why wouldn't she want to stick by them? And this is where Ash tries to convince her to also call her like a sister at least, because um, calling her mother would be very problematic if other gods heard that. So, I mean, Aphrodite doesn't really think any. I mean, like, she says it to please her in that moment, but she doesn't really think of her as sister. Again, thinks of her as her mother, even now, like, she's again no longer like a child. She's now like a teenager, so she's almost there. Not quite though. Um, and then quickly everything kind of goes downhill because she doesn't wake up the next morning, and Aphrodite freaks the hell out to the point where she awakens her god powers and also turns back into a child. She just wanted to stay in that form, but Hephaestus also recognizes her soul's been taken, right? So because she's dead, so it's like, oh great. So they put her basically in an icebox, and Dionysus, very unfortunate timing. Um, right, because during this time, Hephaestus is in he's working on, like, he's in a shop, he's working on a weapon that can kill gods, and Dionysus shows up very wrong time. Even Aphrodite warns him. It's like, you should leave. Like, you're whatever. You should leave. Like, he's not very happy and not the greatest moods. Too late for that, because he gets roped into this, because like, you know the way to like the underworld, don't you? It's like, great, you're coming with us. And they just get a call from him like he's a dog. And on the way there, he's like complaining. It's like, you're both terrible, right? At this point, like, he doesn't know that Aphrodite's Aphrodite, so it's like, you're terrible. So it's like, okay, and she's like over it. He's like, I have PTSD now. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you do. So on their way there, we go back to Ash, and what happened? She's like, oh my god, I died. What the fuck? Right? And the reason, again, she's there because there's no record of her. So they do ask her about it, and she's like, why would I know about this? Because Thanatos and Hades, like, they ask her, it's like, why would I know about that? It's not your job. It's like, she's like, I mean, how, like, where I was like, what if you just lost it? I mean, like, you're all overworked, so everything's so busy and crowded. So, what a chance you just lost it. And then they're like, lost it. But then they're like, no way. But then they kind of like look at each other, right? And they kind of say, like, did we lose it? But they're like, no, we didn't lose it. We're not. It's like, well, I was born like from Demeter's breath. So you could ask her. And in that moment, because none of them want to ask her, Hades is like, all right, Thanatos, you go. It's like, you go ask her. Because he doesn't want to see her. He's like, you go ask her. This is also where Ash finds out the rumors for the first time of like them being married. She's like, I'm not married. What are you talking about? It's like, what? It's like, we're friends. It's like, okay. Hephaestus, Aphrodite, Dionysus arrive in the underworld. Thanatos ends up tied up. Doesn't even try to fight it. He's just like, yeah, this is happening. He does, especially since like seeing what he's Hephaestus holding the weapon and kill gods. Let it happen. He ends up arriving. Hades is like ready to fight. Like, he warns him too, that he's ready to fight. But Hephaestus puts the sword down and ends up telling him, it's like, I don't want to fight, but I will. Like, he's fully prepared to. He's like, all he wants is Ash. Like, he'll trade anything. Like, he'll even serve, like, in her place. Like, he doesn't care. He just wants Ash back. And he's willing to like trade the sword too. It's like, yeah, give that away. But none of it matters, because Ash has at this point already been returned to her body, right? Because Demeter came down, she vouched, hello, was born. So none of this really mattered. And Ash had woken up back in her body because they were worried. It's like, oh yeah, how long has it been in the mortal realm? Your body might have been decomposed. It's like, I'm sorry, what now? But then Thanatos like kind of reassures her. It's like, you really think Hephaestus will let your body rot like before sending her back? It's like, no. That's why she wakes up in an ice box, and she's like stuck there. She can't get out. So she just stays there for a couple hours and goes back to sleep, and then wakes up again. But she's like, okay, I really have to get out now. And then she's an idiot because she didn't realize that there was a door that she could just slide open the entire time. So she really just stayed in there for a couple hours for absolutely no reason. She just didn't realize anything. They end up reuniting, all heartfelt and everything. And by this point, obviously, Hephaestus really likes Ash. Shocker, right? So, and Ash already said she likes Hephaestus. But in his own way, he does end up asking her to marry him, right? He's like, when I make you a ring, it's like, okay. So definitely you asking for marriage. Artemis ends up coming down to take her back to, Hera, like Olympus, and for him to release Hera. So like, and he agrees to it only because Ash is going there, and Aphrodite is like, I'm going to, like, I'm going to. And this is where Dinah, again, he didn't know that she was Aphrodite. So Artemis is looking at him like he's an idiot at this point too. It's like, that's Aphrodite? It's like, and he's looking at her, it's like, the girl's been like so mean to me this entire time was Aphrodite. And Artemis is also looking at him like an idiot though, because it's like, are you drunk when you told Eric? Because like the rumors might have started like the rumors technically started from him, right? Because from him, everyone thought that, oh, Hephaestus and Ash are married and they have a child. And that's what Hera is like so upset about. It's like, how could, like, they have a child now? And it's like, no, he's just an idiot. And so she's looking at him, it's like, you drunk idiot. Like, what are you doing? And so, but they end up going back up to Olympus because, like, he's agreed to release Hera, right? Doesn't care anymore. And at this point, you see the difference of like Aphrodite, where she's like, she has to act arrogant, she has to do like, so no one will mess with her. And she's even thinking about, because like she said this the entire time too, where she's like, where Ash made it clear, like, oh, she doesn't really live on Olympus, right? I mean, she only goes there if she's invited. So at first she's like, well, I'll just invite you and you can come over, like you can live with me. And then it kind of slowly evolves into like, well, I'll live wherever you live. I don't really care. It's like this is the person she thinks of as her mother. Truly, she does not care. She will either stick with Ash and go live in the forest with her, or Ash gets to live on Mount Limits with her. Right? Because Hephaestus is already going to, because of certain things. And part of the agreement, obviously, was him making a weapon for Zeus. But that didn't, what does it matter? He didn't make him a weapon, he made him a shield. And Hera, finally seeing Ash is like a relief to her. And she knows, like, if there weren't people around, she would definitely run out to, her and hug her and like, be her normal kind of self. But she has to be polite because there are other gods around. Zeus ends up welcoming him, telling him, like, oh, my son. It's like, I'm sorry, your son? He never cared before, but it's clear he cares now because he's proven that he's useful and that, because he made the weapon. And that's obviously what he wanted, what he was going for. But Hephaestus refused because, like, I destroyed it, right? He's not giving that to him. That's insane, right? And during Zeus offers him, like, he deserves a spot on, Olympus. And he offers him, he ends up like, oh, you could have any nymph you want. It's like, clearly kind of like writing Ash off. It's like, she's not just a nymph, and I would do pretty much like anything for her, right? Like even Hades was like, when he looked at like during their confrontation, he looked at him, he's like, yeah, I do the same thing for my wife. It's like, if I lost her, like, oh, I'd go crazy too, right? So he, and during this, Ash also pleads with Zeus, like, don't punish Hephaestus, which Zeus wants to hear none of it. Like, he's writing her off, and he just doesn't care, right? He ends up, like, he warns her, like, he yells at her, he's like, I'm like, you're disrespecting me, which sends Hera off into, like, a rage. She's like, don't talk to her like that, she's under my wing. It's like, under her protection. It's like, you should watch your words. It's like, because we understand how important Ash is to Hera. It's like, it's so, like, I love it. Like, we understand how important she is to Hera because during, those, like, when she was chained down, she had nothing but time to really think about this, right? About herself, her choices, her, just, like, everything, right? Upholding the title, like, oh, God, like, marriage. Fantastic, right? Except she's chained, like, she's in a toxic marriage, but she doesn't want to end it because, well, then, from her thought, it's like, well, how would I be the goddess of marriage then, right? And it's like, it's kind of sad. And so no one really, because she's the queen, so no one really can get too close to her or anything. And so she goes off to the forest, she meets Ash, who, and all her chaos is just, she's just herself. And truly kind of the only friend that Hera has. She does not care. And again, I love how this is like, she's had nothing but time to think. it's really starting to sink in how absolutely like just like her situation, like her like relationship with Zeus, like it's trash. And so he's trash. So she's like really thinking of it. Even when she was thinking on her actions, like she knew she smeared her like her own like reputation and name when she killed those women. So she's like not like dumb, but like she just didn't want to let go of the fact that, you know, she's has to have this at least like an image of perfect marriage, even though it really wasn't. It's just like the image of it. But, you know, didn't really end up happening. And I do like how Aphrodite, like on their way up, Aphrodite was like, because she saw people and how they would greet them, right? Especially like Artemis, but then they would look at Hephaestus and they'd sneer at him, they'd look at him in disgust. And for Aphrodite, like again, the change, right? How Ash kind of influenced her. Aphrodite looks at them and she's like, ugh, they're annoying because how dare they judge someone, her, the goddess of beauty, right? And obviously, she would never really judge Hephaestus, especially since no reason to, like, you know, that's her mother's lover. Was she like, that's not, you know? But her, the goddess of beauty, wouldn't ever judge Hephaestus based off looks because she's seen how he loves, cares, and truly cherishes Ash, like her mother. So to see that's like, you know, just drives home how at this point Aphrodite, it, you know, really does look at people and it's like, well, you might be beautiful on the outside, ugly as sin on the inside though. They end up testing Shield. It holds up because of course it does. And at this point, Zeus is like very proud of him. He's like, oh, well, I'll get you any woman you want. Hephaestus refuses. He's like, I don't want any other woman. It's like, fine. Tell me what woman you want. I'll give her to you. As if like they're just like an object. And Hephaestus, like he says, no, I don't want your help. And I don't think it's right to ask you for her hand in marriage when I should be asking her that. Clearly referring to Ash. Like we all know who he's talking about right now. And as he works on change to free his mother, this is where like Hera, like, you know, he says to her, I'll never forgive you, but the reason he's doing this is like to free her is because Ash loves her. And that's the only reason, right? And Hera, again, casted him out because those eyes reminded her so much of Zeus, like his infidelity, everything she hated. And those eyes that she once thought Zeus could look at her like that, like as like with such love and devotion towards her, but really never did, right? He looked at every other woman, didn't really care. And now she sees that in Hephaestus and towards Ash, who like he's again clearly very loyal to, will never do anything to like be like he'll never cheat. And so that's true. It's like bittersweet towards for Hera because it's like the way that she thought her husband could look at her and never really did is the way he's looking at Ash. And it's this is like finally her really coming to the conclusion. It's hitting her. It's like you like wow, how hateful you really are, Zeus. And that is where it ends for now. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!